No, 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 no. You just went. Some stress off because that was really really frustrating. Um, pass me your glass. This is the one you gave me.
Is it?
Yeah.
How is it?
It's I think fucking bomb. It's delicious.
A little bit, just a little bit. Nah, that's it. That's good. That's good. All right, cool. Thank you.
A tiny glass.
Yeah.
All right. So if you just got on, or you're watching the not live version of this, because we'll end up posting this full version on YouTube and whatnot. This is the first episode of the Realest News Report, the news that paid for media won't be telling you, the things that you actually need to hear, what's actually going on in your community, and how the world is actually, how the world actually works, not the bullshit that they feed you. So, we have a great episode today. We're going to be covering local, California. Local, we are based here in Orange County. Local, statewide, California, nationwide, here in America.
Also
and global on this planet. News.
News.
And,
the realest news.
The realest news.
That you'll find.
That you'll find anywhere on the internet.
Point period.
And, I was about to say something, I forgot.
You want to press play? Start this?
No, not yet.
Anything else?
I got the play. Remember, I'm the one pressing play. I got you, fool. And yeah, I'll run it. Forgot what I was gonna say, but yeah. That's the news.
That's the news. Okay.
It's gonna come back to me. I know I fucking forgot something.
We start with this, though. President-elect.
It's not connected.
Wait, what?
What? You should be.
Like Trump has said, he will move swiftly.
On the volume a little bit. Okay, this
To implement mass deportations after he takes office.
Now it's just fucking with me. Now my computer's just like, go fuck yourself, fool. My shit just fucking hates me.
We start with
Okay, yeah.
We're good.
This is the bullshit that we have to deal with. Nothing changed. I just turned it on and off, and now it works again.
Right.
Yeah, we're good now.
this, though. President-elect Trump has said he will move.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say. I apologize. Today we're gonna be covering the consequences of our presidential election, as well as the elections of the Senate and the House of Representatives. So that's going to be our general overview. Sorry, today I'm a mess because this has been pissing me off, but I have a great show in store. Can't wait to get into it, so let's run it.
Move swiftly to implement mass deportations after he takes office.
Brooke here right now with reaction to this plan. Brooke.
Yes, so President-elect Trump ran on a crackdown, a platform of a crackdown, an incoming crackdown on undocumented immigrants. That vow has left many immigrants frightened and confused. People are expressing their concerns on social media.
Y'all didn't punish Kamala Harris by not voting for her. Y'all punish people like me.
My immigrant mother just called me on the phone innocently asking me.
I can't stop laughing at this lady. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I feel empathy for immigrants. It's really sad what's happening. But out of everyone to be crying on an Instagram live video, it's not a lady whose parents have papers.
Come on, she looks sad. She genuinely looks very sad, you know? Like,
she did this shit for clout. Look, 2.4 mil views. Come on, she did this shit for clout. Let's be real. But yeah, for people who don't have papers, it is very scary. And to have to walk around carrying your legal documents at all times, it is whack, especially if you don't have legal documents. But yeah, I couldn't not laugh at this lady because she's kind of funny.
If she should start carrying her passport in case they start doing mass deportations to prove that she's a citizen.
His newly appointed border czar, Tom Homan, said yesterday the Trump administration will prioritize
We will get into Tom Homan later on in this show. Fucking excellent human being, one of the kindest people you'll meet.
Deporting people who are living in the country illegally and pose a threat to public safety. He also says officials will increase workplace raids as a part of a crackdown on labor and sex trafficking. Immigration attorney Jose Osorio believes.
And for people who want to know, how do we actually combat sex trafficking? You give illegal immigrants papers, because when these people don't have papers, sex trafficking happens. Because let's say a immigrant woman gets sex trafficked, she can't go to the police because she doesn't have papers. She's gonna get deported. So if they actually cared about sex trafficking, they would naturalize the people that came into this country with the many resources we have, and then reap the benefits of their taxpayer dollars after many years. But we're just too fucking racist in this country to do that.
That Trump's immigration plans will cause mass confusion.
One of the plans is job site raids. And if it gets to that point, you know, people will be caught up in the system. And how will they know who's an immigrant and who's not?
Osorio says with so much uncertainty, people need to get their documents in order, have proof of family ties and work authorization, or any document that shows permission to be in the country. As for California, Governor Newsom has called a special session of the legislature to safeguard the state's immigration policies, and Attorney General Rob Bonta has vowed to defend those policies in court. Back to you.
And as much as I fucking hate Gavin Newsom, this is one of the good things about Gavin Newsom and the state of California, is that we give a shit about the rights of, you know, people who don't have documents. We still see them as human beings. We still see gay and trans and minorities as human beings in this country, even though the Republicans, they don't see eye to eye in regards to seeing undocumented people as human beings. So we're very lucky here in California that we can start putting legal legal barriers in to prevent full-scale Gestapo-style, you know, boots on the ground, storming into your local restaurant and hauling people away in unmarked vans type genocide going on in this country, in this state at least. But don't be surprised if we have ICE agents breaking into local restaurants, local shops, construction sites, and just taking people away who don't have documents on them, even if they are legal immigrants and they just forgot their documentation that day. If my dad forgets his green card at work, I'm lucky because we're white passing, but they could just take him away if he doesn't have his green card. And
that's
you
no
know,
questions asked.
What's up?
No questions asked. Huh?
No questions asked. If you care about freedom like I do, this is something that's completely unjustifiable. Detaining people for simply existing in a certain area of land, it's not a crime. And it's fucking ridiculous that, you know, we have to be scared of seeing our friends' families get torn apart and whisked away because, you know, certain people in this country believe that they deserve to be here more than other people just because they happen to be born here. Here in Orange County, there are 236,000 undocumented immigrants, which is about 10% of our population. So in the next 4 years, if Donald Trump gets his way, 10% of our population will be taken away from their houses and put into camps and then deported to whatever country they see fit. Not to mention the fact that this economically is going to cost us an arm and a leg, and immigrants last year in taxes contributed $145 million here in Orange County alone. And Donald Trump wants to take these people, these tax-paying people who don't even benefit from Social Security and whatnot, and put them in camps, detain them, take them away from their families when they are making us profit here in this country. They are growing our economy. We're wasting our tax dollars doing a genocide, and that's fucking disgusting. Hitler did 10 million. Donald Trump wants to do 11 million. Or I'm sorry, Hitler did 6 million. Donald Trump wants to do 10 million. So he's trying to beat Hitler by 4 million. So hopefully we won't get to that point. But you know, that's what they said in Nazi Germany as well.
Governor Newsom is wasting no time reacting to a second Trump presidency. Today, he called a special session of the legislature, saying the goal is to outline a plan.
Here, 1 second. Sorry.
To defend California's policies from a Trump agenda.
And so something that we're going to be doing on this show is obviously sitting here and talking in front of a camera doesn't really do that much. I can go and I could tell people about this issue, but if other people only do the same thing that I do and sit in front of a camera and continue to talk, nothing really gets done. So how do we solve this problem here in Orange County? Legislation-wise, naturalize these people. If these people come into this country, give them documents, make them American citizens, and actually make it accessible to become an immigrant. It takes 10 to 15 years for some people to get their documents, which simply isn't feasible if you're a 55-year-old Venezuelan lady trying to provide for her family. You're not going to do it the legal way because it's not possible for you. If we actually give these people a alternative to get their papers, and then once they get their papers, we fucking tax them, we will grow exponentially as an economy and as a country, rather than just being so racist that we don't want, you know, people to come here and boost our economy. Nativism is not a economic policy that works. Nazi Germany proved it when it collapsed upon itself. And it's evident through many years of failed economic policy. What can we do in person? Go to City Hall. Fucking talk to other people in your community. Join organizations. Next couple weeks, I will be talking about various organizations and things you could do in that sense, but going out there and putting your foot to the ground. If there's 100, 1,000 people who show up to City Hall and don't fucking leave for, you know, days and weeks and months, either they'll, you know, put us all in prison, which it is kind of difficult, or they'll actually change things. So showing up and just being present, that's the biggest thing that we could do.
By the way, Eddie says hello.
Eddie?
Eddie says hello.
Eddie? Who's Eddie?
I don't know. Someone new, I guess.
Hi, Eddie. Thank you for tapping into the show. I appreciate you. Welcome.
Hi, Eddie. Thank you.
State Attorney General Rob Bonta also in San Francisco today answering those calls. Christy Smith has more from San Francisco.
During Donald Trump's first term in office, California was often seen as the heart of the so-called resistance, frequently battling the president's policies. And today it appears the state is set to become the face of that resistance again. Governor Gavin Newsom says he wants to make sure California values are, in his words, Trump-proof. So he's called for a special session of the legislature to create a strategy. Meantime, State Attorney General Rob Bonta was in San Francisco today, outlining his plans to address concerns about the president-elect's policies.
He says he's not new, by the way. Eddie. He's like, he's not new to
I can't see the usernames, that's why. My co-host is the one who sees the usernames.
It's from the 18th. I'm not new, it's from the 18th. Eddie the Urite?
Maybe I've seen your username before. I just don't know because I don't have the computer facing in front. But welcome back. I appreciate you tapping in again. Thank you so much. Hopefully you like the new setup and everything we got going on. So trying to elevate the show and whatnot. So yeah, thank you for tapping in. Sorry I thought you were
Just all good.
first time user.
As the reality of a second Trump administration takes hold, I know there is a lot of fear and anxiety, frustration.
Bonta talked about how his office is prepared for potential challenges.
As Attorney General, I will continue to use the full force of the law, the full authority of my office to address injustice, to stand up for all people, especially those who have been long overlooked and undervalued.
Without a bill of human rights, and I believe a bill of human rights should be an international thing, a global thing even. I don't think that human rights are something that we should debate and vote on. The things that we should have elections on should be about efficiency of distributing resources, or how we should structure our economy. Whether gay and trans people should exist aren't things that should be on the ballot. Unfortunately, although we can use our legal measures here in California because, you know, it's we do states' rights and all that bullshit, us progressive people can actually use that to our advantage for once. There is no legal precedent for human rights. If Trump wants to sign an executive order that says ban all Muslims, he'll do it, and he has done it. Or if he says ban gay marriage, they'll do it. So, we can do the best to prevent ourselves through the legal system and whatnot, but it's not something that should be relied upon. It's not a saving grace. We need to do more to defend ourselves against people like this by doing something like drafting a universal global human rights bill. It's pretty simple, but people think that's a very lofty idea. I don't. I think that with the power of the internet, we can distribute these kinds of messages and all come on a universal agreement as a global community. Saudi Arabia, I don't give a fuck about what you think about fucking gay and trans rights. We're gonna vote as a globe on that, and if you don't agree, fucking conform, pussies. I don't care. I can't say that. Pardon my French.
Right, yeah, by the way, we are from California. Where you from, Eddie?
To safeguard reproductive rights, to advocate for more housing.
Newsom says the goal of the special legislative session is to boost legal resources to protect reproductive and civil rights, climate policy, and immigrant families here in the Golden State.
Which will coincide with our regular session, which starts on December 2nd when we're sworn in, so that we can fully protect California and our values, given that Donald Trump will be president again and he will control the Senate and possibly the House as well.
State Senator Scott Wiener's office says the funds will help defend the state's policy priorities and values, while Assembly Republican leader James Gallagher sees the special session this way.
It's totally political. Gavin Newsom is trying to set himself up to run for.
This is a fucking stupid comment. Everything is fucking political. Me fucking going on this stream and talking my shit is fucking political. Of course, Gavin Newsom holding special counsel is fucking political. We just happen to disagree with fucking assholes like you. So, yes, it is political, and it's to prevent assholes like you, James Gallagher, from taking away the rights of gay and trans and minorities and undocumented people from this fucking country. So, fuck you, James Gallagher. Like, obviously it's political. Fuck fucking pussy.
President in 2028. And that's what this is really about. And meanwhile, California struggles with some of the highest cost of living, crime.
One day we'll have our own website and we'll say whatever we want, but we have to like watch our language and whatnot because we gotta use YouTube and Twitch as a platform. So sad.
Homelessness.
In San Francisco, Christy Smith, NBC Bay Area News.
Love it there.
I love it. I grew up there. How much do you think undocumented immigrants pay?
So that's gonna add up. That's gonna add up.
Imagine if we had a jar on the show, how full it'd get. It'd be like my entire net worth in the jar.
Into the tax system for like Medicare, Social Security.
And so this video really highlights the points that I'm making when it comes to immigration in this country. People think that, oh, more people coming into this country equals less jobs for me. That's not true. Mexican and Venezuelan and Honduran immigrants are not stealing your tech jobs. They aren't stealing your managerial positions. These people are picking strawberries in, the Central Valley of California for 10 hours a day. White people don't need to worry about those jobs being stolen from them, right? Like,
they're taking the lowest jobs of the lowest.
They're taking the lowest of the low jobs, and a lot of the times they get paid less than minimum wage under the table, which isn't right. But it's better than getting paid in their home country for them, and they still pay taxes in this country. Every time an immigrant buys a car in this country, he pays taxes on that car. And those taxes go back to our community. How those taxes get used in California in this country is something I have a serious problem with. But that's a separate issue. If we actually used our taxes correctly, we could exponentially grow as an economy. But we'll talk about where our taxes go. I think next episode we're really going to focus on that. So, yeah. Damn, the chat's popping off. Well, I've never seen the chat be this busy. Hey, thanks.
It's because I'm here. It's because I'm here.
That's
I'm good
true.
luck. I'm literally good luck.
Hey, shout out to my boy on co-host. I appreciate it. Plus, it makes the banter a little bit better.
I just want to say hi to Hannah. Hi.
Hi, Hannah. Thank you for tapping in. I appreciate you.
Dirty.
My guess is nothing.
The ones that work for me, none.
So in 2022, undocumented paid into Social Security, Medicare, all of that, $96 billion.
How is that? How is that possible?
ITN number.
They don't have a W-2.
They pay into it. These taxes are automatically deducted, and they pay into the system. They don't get Social Security. They don't get these benefits.
The employer pays.
It's deducted.
And they take part
it's
of it
deducted.
out of there.
It's deducted from there. Yeah. However payroll goes.
Okay.
So whatever payroll laws that you and I as civilians have to think. I've said this a lot, and it sounds unbelievable, doesn't it?
It does.
What's an issue for you as a voter? Like one of the biggest issues?
Illegal immigration, economy.
Okay.
The cost of living.
Do you like?
And one of the silly things is not only do illegal immigrants already pay taxes, but if we gave them documents, they would pay double, if not triple, the taxes of what they already do. So we should be incentivized to give them as much legal documentation as fast as possible so they pay more taxes. But
like paying a lot.
I do like how she understands the issue. She addresses how, oh yeah, that's actually right. Just doesn't come to the right conclusion. It's just zooms through her the actual the solution.
Yeah.
In one ear, out the other. It's come on, dude.
Some people you just can't help. It's just a level of cognitive dissonance where you could just tell them a million times and they'll just never figure it out. But I do legitimately think that if I had this lady on the podcast and she could sit her ass down.
You just have to be very patient. Very patient.
I'll sit here for 5 hours, but I'll pull up all the documentation, all the resources when it comes to actual, providing actual growth in the economy and how that works out and how the numbers back up the things that I'm saying, because I don't just say things. Google everything I'm saying. It's true. Immigrants are a net gain to our economy. Every big capitalist, every billionaire, they want immigration because they know that billionaires hire immigrants and make more
Cheap
money
labor,
off
you know?
of it. The cheapest labor.
Eddie does want to know, how big is the TV? It is a big TV.
It's a big TV. It's 66 inches. Or
Yeah.
no, 64, 65.
Too big
65.
to handle, to be honest.
Too big to handle. We're gonna change this for no glare TV. Once we get funding for the show, we'll do a smaller no glare TV. But I think it still looks good in the frame and whatnot. But yeah, it is.
2026 goals.
I should have done 55, but honestly, I think it's cool. You know.
Yeah, it's sick. It's
this,
sick, dude.
Once I have the funding to buy a no glare TV, this one goes into my bedroom, so I don't.
You know, we'll make it really big once you know there's a no glare TV.
Yeah, we're gonna do the whole wall on the back. It's just gonna be a fucking TV.
For eggs at the supermarket. Do you want? Okay.
And I am right now.
Exactly. 48% of our agricultural workforce is immigrants. Undocumented, like that runs the gamut. What?
Explain this though. We've had more illegal immigrants.
Sorry, Hannah did say we need a swear count at the end of each stream.
God.
Every time you swear, you gotta donate 50 cents to a charity. I don't got.
That's fair.
That's
can do
fair.
that.
That's mainly you, cause you're the only one that swears. Eddie says you're at one. You're at one.
I'm at one, and I'm more than $1 or like one swear.
Don't give an idea. I'm just saying like. Anyways, let's go back. Yeah, definitely. Next stream, you're gonna see the swear count. There you go. That's $1 right there.
That's fair.
Immigration in
Oh, I'm sorry.
the last couple of years than ever before, and the cost of eggs has gone up. So why wouldn't the cost of all that stuff go down if we are just flooding the market with all these employees that are low wage employees?
You are so close to getting the point, and I really want to commend you right now. There's like just a few companies that sell eggs, and they control everything. You're very.
I don't know that I'm winning.
You're so close. You're so close, which is.
And don't get it twisted. I have more in common with this lady than this lady has in common with Donald Trump. Point blank, period.
You're more closer to her than she is to Trump.
By a long shot. by a country fucking mile. And that's what I want people to understand, whether they're, progressive or conservative, is that the politicians are our enemies. Quit glorifying Trump. You weird Democrats don't even glorify fucking, Kamala Harris. No one really glorifies Kamala Harris. We all kind of fucking hate her as progressives, but we quit glorifying Trump. He's a fucking asshole and he's a politician. He shakes hands with Joe Biden. He shakes hands with Kamala Harris. If you're a Republican and you fucking hate the Democrats, you should hate fucking Trump too. Not the city. You should hate Trump too because he fucking works with them. He's a politician. He steals our taxpayer dollars and uses it on himself. So, yeah, fuck all politicians. What happened to this sense of, fuck all politicians? People get too comfortable with, supporting one side or another. It's not about sides. It's us versus them.
Corporate greed! Would you want someone to clamp down and make sure that this is not...
I don't want the government clamping down. I want the free market to do its thing.
The free market did its thing already. There's 3 to 5 companies.
Totally gives money to all the lobbyists. They're in bed together.
Crony capitalism is still capitalism. You sound like a Bernie supporter. You sound like a Bernie Sanders. I think you were at the...
Fucking Bernie Sanders. We'll get into Bernie.
Existing at the mercy of criminals was...
Before we get into this video, here in California, we had the option to vote on 10 different propositions. A lot of them could have been really good. Unfortunately, we kind of fucked it up as California, so I'm gonna go over.
Can you explain what went on in California? Because maybe our viewers aren't from California.
In what sense?
In the sense of they don't understand maybe the propositions. Can you explain that a little bit?
Oh, well, so, I mean, this usually happens in every state.
In the U.S., yeah.
Yeah, well, in the U.S., when you get your ballot, you don't just vote for Trump or Biden. You vote for Trump, Biden. You vote for who's going to be your next state senator, who's going to be your next House of Representatives member, and you also get to vote on city measures. Here in Costa Mesa, we didn't have any city measures this year. I know my Santa Ana viewers, they had a couple city measures in regards to funding for schools, as well as how much they wanted to pay their their pretty much their local government board and stuff like that. In Costa Mesa, we didn't have any, so I'm not gonna go over them. But here in California, you know, on a state level, you also get to vote for propositions that affect the whole state. And if you're in Missouri, you get to vote on Missouri's propositions. And it's the same way for pretty much every state. And I believe every 2 years you get a new ballot, since we do elections every 2 years. And so I'm going to be briefly going over the propositions, whether they're good or bad, and what we decided to vote on. So, Proposition 2, we as Californians voted yes, which are bonds to increase increased bonds for public schools, meaning that you will be having a slight tax raise. I believe it will be about anywhere from $50 to $100 per median household of an increase, which, although this one's a little bit difficult for me, because it is good that we are increasing funding for education. Unfortunately, it seems like all of our tax dollars here in this state just get put into an incinerator. So whether we vote on Proposition 2 or not, does it really increase or help schools that much? Not really, because most of it ends up in the pockets of billionaires and the politicians in the California government. But we voted yes on it, so we'll be having a slight tax increase, and a couple $1 million might go to schools. Maybe like $10 or $20 million might go to schools.
10,000.
No, not 10,000. It's over the course of like 10 years. It's like fucking like 50. It's like $100 billion.
They supply
in
crayons, scissors. That's it.
Scissors and crayons. Instead of 50 kids per class, it's gonna be 49 kids per class after this.
Watch out.
Proposition 3, repeals a ban on same-sex marriage. We voted yes on it. Very good. Regardless of what your sex is, you should be able to marry. I think it's pretty obvious.
At this point, yeah, it doesn't matter.
Proposition 4, these are more bonds, aka tax hikes for water and wildlife. Although I am pro supporting water and wildlife and natural parks, in theory, whether this bond goes through or not, I'm pretty neutral, as again, it's an increase in taxes, and 95% of that money isn't gonna go to the, natural parks or water or resources we have in this country, unfortunately.
And Eddie did question 50 kids in one class.
Yeah.
Yeah, damn near right. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, welcome to California.
Yeah, public schools, it's like, it can get up to like 40 at least.
Yeah, and this
one teacher too, like, this is just one person.
This is us. We graduated in 2018.
Oh, yeah.
In a nice school system. We went to Newport Beach for fucking school. So imagine if you go to fucking Compton, Southgate, these fucking classrooms.
Just the education you'll get is just not levels depending on where you're living. That shouldn't be right at all to even begin with.
Yeah, how are kids supposed to be able to ask questions and learn and feel involved when they're one of 50 in a classroom?
Sharing the same scissors.
Yeah, the sharing the same dull fucking scissors. The less kids we have per class, the better, the more of a focused education and the more focus the teacher can put on the kid. Obviously, very, very important. Proposition number 5 lowers the vote from 60% to 50% on whether housing infrastructure bonds go through. This is the dumbest fucking proposition on the ballot. It shouldn't be 60% period because it's anti-democracy. It should always be 50%. And we also voted no on this. So we voted no on having an equal democracy. We're gonna continue to not have a democracy on this issue. We need a 60% vote to pass bonds, because 60% is how democracy works in California. So yeah, that one was kind of a silly one, but we voted no on making it easier for people to vote on housing infrastructure. Proposition 6. You know which one this is? This was the worst one.
This is the rent control?
No, well, that was pretty bad, but like the absurd one.
Is it the I can't think of it right now.
Oh, come on.
It's like right in my head, but I just can't picture it.
Prohibiting forced labor, aka slavery. We as Californians voted no against repealing slavery. We are pro-slavery here in California.
America. Pro-slavery.
Oh yeah, in America in general, but 60% of Californians decided that if you're in prison, your labor is worthless. Why give inmates a chance to work and save money so that way after they serve their sentence, they have money saved up and can build a future for themselves? No, let's just make them work for fucking free, and then as soon as they leave prison with $0 in their account and they commit more crimes, that's just my voice, fool. There's only so much I could do. Déjame pues. So yeah, instead of allowing, we want to keep the people who leave prison as poor as possible so they go back into prison once they commit more crimes, because now they worked for 10 years in prison but made $0 off of it. Oh, I'm sorry, 20 cents an hour, which is the standard 15 cents an hour stamping fucking license plates. But yeah, our prison system is for profit, and the only reason that Californians realistically voted no on this is because the prison systems make all the fucking advertisements on TV. And when that happens, Californians decide to vote no on basic human rights, like allowing people to make money when they work. Just because you're a prisoner, you're just a slave now, The point of prison is to separate dangerous people from society and allow them to rehabilitate. It's not to turn them into slaves and pick fucking cotton. That one's really disgusting. Do better, California. Proposition 32, raise the minimum wage to $18. We voted no on this. Yeah, let's not make life better for the poorest people in the country. Obviously, the issue is servers and farm workers making too much money, not millionaires or billionaires. So we gotta make sure that instead of making 16 an hour or making 18 an hour, that poor people make 16 an hour, because that's why we're paying so much in taxes in this country, right?
So Hannah's saying that the volume is kind of quiet. Is it maybe because of your...
My volume?
Yeah, I assume yes. Is it because of that?
I'm gonna continue like this. The only issue is that we're having a little dilemma with our headphones. So Alejandro has the main audio jack. I put in my other headphone, which is where my audio is coming from. Hopefully it's better now. But
yeah, she's saying you. She's mainly saying you. I can put it maybe in the middle.
No, because then it works for neither of us. Leave it there.
Alright, he's telling me to leave it there. But you can still hear it, right? Like a little bit, like it's just light, I assume.
See, no, hold on.
It's very disappointing.
Yeah, it's totally fine. Yeah.
Huh?
It's fine.
It's better now?
I mean, it's doable. Like, that's what she's probably saying.
It's doable?
Yeah. We'll just fix it for the next one.
We'll fix it next episode. I think that I can have Alejandro wear the headphones and connect to my computer while I connect the speakers and microphone to me.
So, yeah, it was just very, the TV is loud, though. We do need to turn, it is loud. Let me turn it down.
I washed my AirPods, so now they don't work like they used to.
So it's
I'm
just
very happy
mainly
that they
Sandra's
still work.
fault. All
Yes,
I'm
this
hearing is Sandra's fault.
This is directly my
Any
fault.
issues? Sandra's fault.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, I turned it down. I did turn the TV down a little, so hopefully that's better.
Wonderful. Proposition 33, repealing a ban on rent control. So if you're not familiar with what rent control is keeping your landlord from increasing your rent from $1,000 to $2,000 to $3,000 every single year. Instead of making sure that landlords can only charge a fixed rate on rent, we as Californians decided no, our landlord can just increase the price of rent whenever the fuck we want. So let's say I'm living somewhere and I have my family in my house and I pay $1,500 in rent and I'm barely scraping by. If my landlord wants to charge me $3,000, I now get to live on the street because the landlord wanted to make more money. We as a community need to vote for the less fortunate. People who vote for themselves and only themselves, especially when they're really well off, need to stop being fucking selfish. We live in a community, and we need to support the lowest of our low in our community, and that lifts all of us up. But when we just try and profit ourselves, especially when really, really rich people only care about making a profit, everyone gets hurt by it. We're almost done. Proposition 34.
Rent control. Is this rent control?
It's related to rent control.
Oh,
33 was rent control.
Okay, never mind.
Fool,
Continue.
I just said it and you forgot, fool.
Obviously, I'm not paying attention, but continue.
You're not paying attention? What the fuck? Why the fuck are you here, fool? Proposition 34. It's directly related to Proposition 33. And we voted yes to regulate spending by healthcare entities. Now that sounds good, but a lot of the times what happens with these propositions is that when you get your paper ballot in the mail and you read, oh, regulate spending by healthcare entities. Oh, that's good. My healthcare provider can't just spend money willy-nilly. They have to spend it on healthcare. That's not what's actually going on. You need to dive deep into these propositions. And that's why I'm here. That's why you watch the stream. That's why you tap in. Proposition 33 for rent control was largely funded by the AIDS Foundation. So, the Apartment Association, which is a group of really, really rich landlords and groups like BlackRock who are buying up houses in mass and reselling it to people in the community for exorbitant amounts, which is why everything costs so fucking much in this state. The AIDS Foundation wanted to instate rent control because people with AIDS benefit from when the rent is a fixed rate, just because it's not directly buying or creating more big target doesn't mean that people aren't affected, or people with HIV or AIDS aren't affected by rent control. Rent control helps people with HIV. It helps people without HIV.
It helps everyone. It literally helps everyone if we're able to.
It literally helps everyone. But the Apartment Association wants to punish the AIDS Foundation for trying to ban rent control. So the apartment association was like, we're gonna limit your spending so you can only spend your donation money on healthcare services. So we all take a loss. So yes, the AIDS Foundation is no longer allowed to try and fund things like rent control because the apartment association decided to appeal that liberty. So great job, California. We're almost done. We got 2 more. I know this part's dragging out. Proposition 35 extends tax on healthcare plans. That passed. I think that's good. I mean, it's good. I'm pretty neutral to it. Does it change that much? Not really. Like I said, all of our taxes go to the richest people in this country. But yeah, I guess marginally it does help a few people in healthcare. And finally, Proposition 36. This is now I finally get to play the video again.
Very disheartening, and I guess we had to hit rock bottom before finally people woke up and they realized that it's time to take a different turn.
That's the sentiment shared by more than 70% of voters in California who approved Proposition 36 on Tuesday's ballot.
I'm not surprised.
The measure would bring back harsher penalties for theft and certain drug crimes, issues that have plagued the Bay Area and the state in recent years.
They were really looking for relief from so many people allegedly committing redefined petty crimes and being able to get away with it.
It's a reversal of Prop 47, which passed in 2014, reducing some felonies to misdemeanors. Reclassification meant crimes such as repeat shoplifting merchandise under $950 carried a much lighter sentence.
On a felony, you can get up to a year in the county jail, and you could actually go to prison if the circumstances warranted it. On a misdemeanor, misdemeanors are not going to jail, or they're going from very minimal time, a weekend or something like that.
Drug crimes under Prop 36, such as fentanyl trafficking, would become felonies.
It was not in the category of cocaine, methamphetamine, or heroin at all, or PCP. It was off on like a possession of a prescription drug, a non-prescription drug.
Opponents of the measure, which include Governor Gavin Newsom, say Prop 30.
Her face, the lady's face is like.
So, although your local news makes money by fear-mongering things like, by saying, oh, petty crime is ruining the city, ABC7 just showed people robbing a jewelry store. People who are robbing a jewelry store are not affected by this. Robbing a jewelry store is still a felony. Unless you're the worst jewel robber in all of California, you should be making more than $950. People who are stealing less than $950 are people who are stealing things like shoes, food,
bags,
deodorant.
Yeah, like nothing crazy, nothing too expensive.
Nothing that puts the general public in danger.
In harm's way.
Yeah, it doesn't harm anyone. Should people have to be at that point? No. But the solution isn't putting everyone who can't afford to eat and has to steal from a grocery store in prison. The solution is providing the poorest of the poor people with the basics to survive. Food, some housing, basic essentials for, maintaining hygiene, right? And if we give these people that, they could get off the street. But if we just want to continue to penalize people from being poor, this issue will never go away. Proposition 36 is not a solution to petty crime in California. The solution to petty crime in California is getting rid of poverty. Point blank, period. And there's no other way around it. So we can continue to blame poor people for being poor, or we could take action as a community and ask our representatives, where the fuck are our tax dollars going? Why are the poorest of the poor people still living in camps when we spent $50 billion on homeless care in Southern California? they're still out there on the streets. All that taxpayer dollars that we paid for go straight into the pockets of politicians and CEOs and not into the hands of the people who really need it. And that's the part that's disgusting. And because these politicians do that, now we put in prison the poorest of the poor people because we don't do anything to fucking help them. It's disgusting. So yes, we voted yes on harsher penalties for drug and crime offenses because we want to blame poor people for being poor rather than blaming billionaires from hoarding resources and not giving a fuck about the rest of their community, which is the actual problem. Look at me still holding the bottle like some fucking...
It's like it's a baby. It's like a baby.
Me baby, me baby.
36 would further crowd the jail system and disproportionately affect communities of color.
Oh, and she mentioned a great point too. The more of these people we put in our prison system, guess what? We still have to pay more fucking taxes because we pay for our fucking prisons. The more people we put in our prisons, the more taxes I have to pay to make sure those people stay in prisons. If they're on the street, at least I would rather pay taxes to give them food and water than to keep them in a tiny cell. But that's just me. Some people, they believe in slavery. But, you know, I don't, so that's my position.
The Curb Coalition, which advocates to reduce prison spending, released this statement Wednesday, condemning Prop 36's passage, calling it a setback and a, quote, misguided attempt to revive the failed war on drugs. Despite SFPD reporting overall crime down 30.6% compared to this time last year, that drop wasn't enough to voters we spoke with, who overwhelmingly agreed Prop 36 is the start of a safer state.
I think right now the city is just kind of having an outcry for just wanting some change.
I don't know if it's going to have a major impact, but I'm hoping it's going to have some impact.
So, what can we do as a community? Make sure we vote all 7 times. A lot of people, they just vote for president. You should vote on every single thing you can and exercise as much as your electoral voice as possible. It's not the end-all be-all. It's not the solution to poverty, but it's better than nothing. It will help your community in a tangible way. So make sure you fill out everything on your ballot. And the biggest thing is quit voting selfishly. Vote to help out the poorest of the poor people in your community. Because if you lift up the bottom, everyone rises. Helping poor people doesn't take away from you. It helps you. You know, you can continue to vote for tax cuts and stripping away, you know, homeless care and stuff like that. But you could have all the money in the world, but you walk in downtown LA, you still gotta walk by shit and feces and needles because you continue to vote for yourself and not for the people who are less fortunate than you. So when you vote for your community, not just yourself. We live on this planet with 7 billion other people. Be mindful of that.
I also think go vote, because the percentage of people not voting is a lot more than people like not voting selfishly, you know?
Could you do me a favor? Could you look up the percentage of votes that we had for our propositions? And this is a big thing too. Something that I believe is that everyone should be mandated to vote. If you want to be able to live in California or live in America, you should have to vote. Because there's no point in a democracy if only 40 people contribute. Because people will just be able to buy your votes and whatnot. So, but that being said, it does take a while to research stuff and to figure out what to vote. I do think that in my perfect ideal world that when you do vote and you do your research to vote, you should also get paid to vote because it is work. It's work for your community and whatnot, and we can afford to do that. If we paid people, you know, a day off of work to vote, I think everyone would vote. But if, you know, someone who's super, super poor wants to work instead of vote because they have kids to feed, you know, of course they're not going to vote.
So it doesn't claim like how many people didn't vote. But let me just
You use the monitor so people can see on your screen.
Yeah. Oh yeah, wrong wrong monitor.
You're good.
Take some time.
That's just for the chat and the laptop.
Yeah, cool. Yeah.
The Firefox.
Oh, you got Firefox.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Way better than Chrome. Fuck Google Chrome. Firefox doesn't lag.
How many people?
Just do how many people? What percentage of the population voted in California this year? Everyone should vote. Even illegal immigrants, they should vote. They live within our borders, they should be able to vote. They're parts of our community. Just because you have papers, it doesn't mean I don't get to be a part of the community. Unless you're fucking racist. Or xenophobic.
Or racist, again. I
Or
feel like
racist.
racism is
Again.
definitely... the percentage of voters... So about, what does this say? About 21% of California registry. Oh wait, this is not it. Let's try
If you
some.
need to, you could use ChatGPT. It is wasteful. ChatGPT is wasteful, but if necessary, it can be used as a good tool.
And this is a necessary question that needs to be answered on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like for the purposes of the show, I think that disseminating this information is worth, because it's one ChatGPT search is 500 Google searches, about 1.5 liters of water.
Tell them, you tell them, dude.
So, if we do one ChatGPT search, it is like doing 500 Google searches. But I think that if we do one or two, for the sake of finding necessary information for you guys, especially once we get a following here, it will be a net benefit. But be mindful. We are using it on our stream and whatnot because we do think that it can help disseminate important information. But like I said, be mindful. Every time you search ChatGPT, know that you're wasting 1.5 liters of water. And it's about 500 Google searches.
500? That's crazy.
Yep. It's the same electrical output as like 500 searches. So like if you do like 1 or 2 searches, it's fine, especially considering the fact that, every time I search on Google just wants to, pop up OpenAI without even me asking and just give me an AI response, So the people who are responsible for global warming for the most part are the big companies who are, profiting off of this. But, as an individual, I should still recycle. I should still be mindful of my consumption. So that's just our little disclaimer. Have you found anything yet? Do you need me to search it?
It's searching right now. So it says voter turnout is often around 80%, so it's saying like 20% of people from California don't vote.
20% overall?
Oh, around 20%.
That's actually pretty good.
That's good numbers, but still.
Just for presidency or just in general?
It's 2024. Not in general. General is lower. It's definitely lower.
Okay, yeah. Because most people will vote for the president, but they'll just skip the
midterm, the 22 midterm elections, 50.
Low.
50 to 60. Yeah.
And those are the ones that matter. Those are the ones that really shape our politics. Like the propositions, when I looked up how we're voting on our propositions, it was about 60%, I believe.
Yeah.
And that's really, really shitty. We should be at 100%. Like I said, you should
usually
have to vote.
All like election terms with presidents, it's around 80%.
Yeah.
So
because people think that, and it's funny because it's the one voting for presidency is the one thing that doesn't affect our fucking future as Californians, because we always fucking vote blue. But voting for propositions and voting for senators and House of Representatives actually changes something, and we choose not to fucking do it. Alright, we got out of the weeds with that. So let's get into the next things. Also, before we go into the next topic, I apologize. Things you should be voting on: the presidential primary, the statewide direct primary, which is every 2 years voting who gets to be your Democratic candidate, who gets to be your Republican candidate. Don't vote for Republicans, but stuff like that. The general election, special elections, sometimes a politician dies and we have to vote another one in, stuff like that. Local elections, as well as recalls and referendums and ballots, make sure that we're voting on all of these things. We should vote on 7 different things as Californians. Make sure we vote on all of them. We should be using all the resources we can be as Californians to change our political landscape if we can. Boom.
One that has reached the...
Oh, I forgot. I forgot one more thing. And I know I just said a lot, but the most important thing, if you want to know how to vote, Google California Secretary of State voter registration. You go on that, you press the button that says register to vote, and you're registered. Kids like me who went to good school districts, we take it for granted because we got papers that allowed us to register to vote as we were in school, because our school gave a fuck about our political voice, because we were in a mostly conservative school. But kids in lesser financial backgrounds, some of them, they just aren't even registered to vote because they were never given that opportunity. So if you aren't registered to vote, go to the Secretary of State. Go fucking register. Alright. Continue.
Which basically considers that there are millions of foreigners throughout the United States looking to steal, murder, or traffic. Clearly, if according to them, these people are eating cats and dogs, imagine what else they're capable of doing, right?
I think the real number is 15, 16 million people into our country. When they do that, we got a lot of work to do. They're poisoning the blood of our country. That's what they've done. They poison.
Trump argues.
Whenever this country has no blood, it has a lot of money though. If any politician says destroying the fabric of our country, poisoning the blood of our country, changing the morality of this country, just know that this is just racism. It's the same thing that Hitler said about the Jews. The reason that they use this weird, nebulous, not concrete language is because they don't have any actual justifications other than being racist. So they have to say, immigrants destroy the moral fabric of this country. This entire country is immigrants. Our moral fabric is immigration. Just anytime you hear a politician say that, just know that they think the same way Hitler thought about the Jews.
That there are 4 to 5 million more illegals than are believed to be in the country, and on the campaign trail, he has basically blamed them for almost everything bad that happens to America. That is precisely why tracking them down, catching them, and deporting them is critical. The point is that this isn't as easy as some of you may be thinking. To deport an illegal immigrant, it's not just a matter of detaining him or her, putting that person on a plane, or making them cross the Mexican border and wishing them good luck. The whole process is much more complex and costly than that. First, you need to find the illegal immigrants. This would require many more people doing research, which would greatly increase federal capabilities in a short time.
Then there must be enough places to hold them, because obviously they have to be
Co-host is a diehard Phoenix Suns fan.
incarcerated somewhere while their expulsion is being processed, no matter how short this process is, and no matter how much the laws are reformed to expedite the time frame. There is always a period of detention, and that requires facilities, surveillance, and care.
And also, don't forget that in a state governed by the rule of law, a deportation
apologize for the little delay. Had to take care of some big business. And we're gonna restart. But in the next coming episodes, I will buy piss bags for me and my co-host so we could urinate.
In a piss bag.
And
just for you guys.
And it's how we nurture the beautiful greenery we have on scene.
Anyways.
Usually involves a judicial process. In other words, a trial is required where the case of the immigrants to be expelled is evaluated. So in theory, millions of trials would have to be carried out in 4 years, and hundreds of thousands of beds would have to be made available. And guess what? The US justice system already has thousands and thousands, tens and hundreds of thousands of deportation cases that are backlogged. So imagine adding another 3 million a year. The outcome, with the resources that exist today, chaos. Of course, let's not go so fast, because what we're about to tell you in this video about this issue is surely going to surprise you. And finally, the United States would have to conduct tens of thousands of repatriation flights. Nearly 4 million illegal immigrants are Mexicans, and they could return by land. But the rest? They would need to be transferred from the United States to their countries of origin, and the Mexican government is not likely to make it very easy for them to do so. Of course, another scenario that is being considered is that there's no need to expel 3 million illegal immigrants per year. Some analysts and Republican voices believe that, in the face of a massive deportation operation, many could leave voluntarily before.
This might be the dumbest thing I've ever fucking heard. Republicans are banking on immigrants to just leave. They're just,
build that wall. Build that wall. Build that wall. Build that wall.
Okay. First of all, that wall didn't work, but it didn't fucking work.
I thought it worked.
It did not work. Fool,
Damn.
we paid hella money on the. But the Trump administration is expecting 3 million immigrants to just walk on the other side, and we built a wall, so they can't even walk back to the other side, because now there's a fucking wall. Now they're just stuck here, right? If you use the logic of Republicans, like, how are the immigrants gonna go from the U.S. back to fucking Mexico? There's a wall in the way. But anyways, they want to deport 11 million people, which means detaining 11 million people, setting up 11 million different trials, setting up 11 million different beds in hundreds of thousands of camps, and sending these people back in millions of airplane rides. You think Trump is gonna pay for that? Who's gonna pay for that? We're gonna fucking pay for that. Not only
I pull my hair with any outfit.
I hope that was good. Oh wait, that's
What did you think that was?
I remember now. That's the Boys Liar, the song.
Yeah, that's the liar one. That's if someone lies. You press that.
You're just lying right now.
Well, I'm not lying.
You're gonna get striked right now. Watch.
I'm probably gonna get striked. But not only do we want to take people out of this country who are paying taxes and increasing our economy, Donald Trump wants to take taxpayers out of the economy and have us fund the removal of tax-paying people from this country. So we're losing money by getting rid of these people, and we're losing money by funding their deportation. Trump is gonna fucking make us pay for 2 different aspects of this, which is fucking diabolical. And that really, really pisses me off. All the Trump people who care about the economy and, saving money, he doesn't give a fuck. Let's be real. He wants us to pay to do a genocide. I don't want to pay to do genocide. I would rather keep these people here and make money off of them. But when you're a hateful bigot, you're cool with spending your money on killing people.
Or being ordered to do so by force and without warning. And keep in mind that it is not at all pleasant to live with the daily stress of receiving a visit from the authorities to drag you out of the country. So the idea of some is that many of them will leave on their own. And let's say that yes, this does happen to a certain extent. Let's say the real goal is to capture and expel 1 million immigrants per year, and the rest get scared and leave voluntarily. Well, even in this deportation scenario, according to estimates by the American Immigration Council, the cost would be stratospheric. The federal government would have to spend $7 billion in arrests, $66 billion in detention centers, $12.6 billion in legal proceedings, $2.1 billion in deportation trips. In other words, we would be talking about almost $90 billion each year.
Donald Trump wants us to pay $360 billion in taxes to do genocide and get rid of people who already pay taxes.
How much do they pay?
Immigrants?
Yeah.
Look it up.
90 billion.
Might be more than that.
No, it's not. It's like 90 billion.
No, you think so?
Yeah, I know so.
What's it?
Huh?
Look it up.
Yeah, I did look it up. It's 90 billion.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I say like 40.
You say 40?
Yeah.
Alright, continue.
Use this screen, fool.
Oh.
So that our chat can see what's going on.
I always keep forgetting how much money
do undocumented immigrants pay in taxes a year in America?
Sorry, I'm slow typer.
Oh, you're good. This is what really pisses me off.
I 96 billion.
Ha.
96 billion, I told you.
Holy shit. Damn. Fucking respect, dog. Next time we won't look shit up, we're just gonna listen to what he says. But not only do we have to pay 90 billion per year, we're also losing 96 billion per year. So we're because of Trump, we are going to have to pay, what is it? $720 billion in taxes just because he hates Mexicans that much. The only reason. But, you know, we as Americans suffer the consequences of fucking electing a racist to our president. So, you know, get ready for more taxes. You know, Donald Trump tax cuts, my fucking ass.
Year, or $360 billion during the entire presidency. That is actualized dollars, making it even more than what the Americans spent on the Apollo program that took humans to the moon. And as we
freely use
2 Apollo programs. 2.
not only the National Guard, but also the military if necessary to detain illegal immigrants. The old law also enables expedited removal, so the federal government would hardly need numerous expensive long-term detention centers or to deal with a cascade of lengthy court proceedings.
So it would go something like illegal immigrant caught, illegal immigrant thrown out of the country. Remember what we said at the beginning of the video about don't go so fast? Well, Trump might try this move. This could be his ace up his sleeve. Of course, there are many doubts that he could justify the existence of a conflict at the internal level in order to obtain the use of these special powers. The Supreme Court has never ruled on its constitutionality, but several judges have commented that the scope of the law, as Trump sees it, is very limited. To begin with, immigrants do not come from just one country, so many nations would have to be declared aggressors. This also complicates the deportation flights because the destinations would be so many. One legal alternative is to treat illegal immigrants as a multinational belligerent community, like the Kurds in Turkey or the FARC in Colombia. The problem is that this would not be the case either, because illegal immigrants are not organized as a group. Plus, as we said, not all of them are criminals. In fact, the overwhelming majority are not. Crime
less than Americans. Immigrants cause less crime than people born in this country.
Rates among illegal immigrants living in the United States are actually very low. So the reality is that any sane interpretation of the law could not give Trump the special powers he's asking for. In fact, most likely, if he dared to go down this path to achieve his mass deportation goals, the justice system would quickly prevent him from doing so. For example, because the Posse Comitatus Act of 1878 limits the use of the armed forces in civilian law enforcement. Of course, with Republicans having a guaranteed majority in both houses of Congress, well, you never know. Certainly, the possibility is on the table. But even if Trump were to take this step, the logistical challenges of carrying out such a deportation in just 4 years would still be enormous. Clearly, it would save a lot of costs of the, let's call it, traditional mechanism, but let's take a minute to review the magnitude of the proposal. We'd be talking about a military operation within the US, a kind of migratory D-Day on US soil.
Trump and his... So even though Trump doesn't want to do war and wants to, keep our troops at home, he's gonna deploy our troops to do genocide and work as a Gestapo and a secret police against people who don't have documents in this country. And they'll kick down the doors of people who do have documents and still incarcerate people who do have documents, because like they just said, Donald Trump isn't gonna do it. If he wants to be able to do this, he's not gonna give these people proper trials. He's gonna round them up and fucking get rid of them.
Allies are reimagining the military as an all-powerful tool to deploy on US soil.
Even worse is that Donald Trump's idea, although it sounds far-fetched and unprecedented, actually has a precedent cited by himself in the campaign. In the 1950s, the US also had a serious immigration problem. A problem that came after thousands of Mexicans who had entered the country with immigration benefits during World War II overstayed their visas. Well, in 1954, the Dwight Eisenhower administration carried out Operation Wetback. To date, the largest mass deportation of immigrants in the history of the United States.
That's a crazy name, Operation Wetback.
That's where it comes from.
From I didn't know that was correlated from where it comes at. Like...
That's why they're called wetbacks.
No way.
Yeah. He wasn't just like, oh, I'm gonna call it that to be offensive. That's where it comes from.
That's crazy. I did not know that.
Yep.
The fantasy that Trump...
YouTube is gonna strike my channel again because someone else's content said a bad word and we just repeated it.
Hopes to surpass.
What if the person in our video cusses? Do we have to pay for that?
Definitely.
Definitely.
We're charitable guys. We're nice guys.
We better get a tax refund on all the
We're nice and chill guys.
We're philanthropists.
At that time, Lieutenant General Joseph May Swing was appointed to design and implement a large-scale operation to remove these immigrants.
Then, more than 1 million Mexicans left the country in just 1 year. Of these, some 80,000 were forcibly deported, and another million
Also, this is what you're pro. If you want this to happen, you want people in big metal cages, not able to see their families or breathe or move. What Trump does is no different to this. Just because this is in black and white doesn't mean it's any different than what Trump wants to do.
Deported, under the pressure of the operation.
And yes, almost all of them were treated practically as if they were prisoners of war. Well, on that occasion, Eisenhower didn't even need...
America, the free right. We just get to imprison whoever we want. This was like 47%. Tenga cuidado. Cenizo.
I literally
Liberated.
felt that... Whoa. I felt... I literally felt that all...
to invoke the Alien Enemies Act of 1798. But as we say, Trump's idea is to surpass...
all over my body. It's just like...
Fool you.
What? No, I don't want to get that messed up.
Not that turn. Yeah, you're doing
Not yet,
the
not yet.
technical side, you know.
Yeah, I'm doing the technical.
Get better and then we're getting
It's already hard enough to like deal with this stuff. I'm getting the hang of it though.
I think we're doing a pretty good job. I think.
For the first one, yeah, definitely.
Him. So maybe for what
the 50-minute delay in the beginning of the show.
he has in mind, it will be necessary.
Dwight Eisenhower has the record. He was a very moderate kind of a guy. He was a good general. He's a good president, too, better than a lot of people think. He built the interstate system, did a good job, but he hated the concept of people pouring into our country, and he has the record, but we're going to unfortunately beat the record. It's not something I want to do. But this is not sustainable by any country.
The way the idea has been presented, and pending whether it materializes or not, we could end up seeing the military or the National Guard taking to the streets of San Diego or Albuquerque to search for and deport thousands and thousands of immigrants.
It really was. Look, I was on my way home yesterday. I was in my Uber, in an Uber, and I was
So just to give you some context, this dude is one of J.D. Vance's political advisors. He's, the vice president. He's the vice president's political advisor. So just know that that's where he's coming from when he says these things. But what he does say is something that is true, and a sentiment that I have seen amongst a lot of independents and a lot of people that typically don't vote, and we'll get into it.
These gentleman was driving me. He had just been in the country for about 5 or 6 years, and he overheard me talking to a reporter, and he started talking to me about the election. And he said to me, last time I voted for Biden, and I was wrong. I'm also a truck driver, and we don't make enough on our loads like we did when we were under Trump. That, and I don't want any more war. And he voted for Donald Trump this last election. See, what's happened is it's beyond the coalition that was in 2016 and 2020. It's now a lot of everyday Americans, and whatever nationality they're from, they're kind of for this because they saw their lives better under Donald Trump than they did the last 4 years. And that was a huge impetus for them to go into vote in droves for Donald Trump.
When you look at the numbers, you can see Donald Trump gaining in nearly every single demographic in every single county in every single state. I think the most recent numbers I've seen, Jay, is that with the exception of Washington State and Utah, he grew. Is this a Trump thing or is this a Republican thing? How do you see it?
No, I think this is very much a Trump thing. And look, the Republican Party has been remade in his image in a lot of ways, and we've become the party of the working class. So what the Democrats have a problem.
The Republicans pretend they are the party of the working class. The Republicans will make sure that you don't get your Social Security. They'll make sure that billionaires don't have to pay taxes while we continue to pay 40% on our earnings. The Republicans don't give a fuck about the working class. But what they do is a great job of acting like they are. They do a great job of saying, hey, we're here to work the helping people, the working people. One of Trump's strategies was saying no taxes on tips for servers, bussers, barbacks, all that sort of stuff, restaurant industry people. And working class people are like, oh wow, Trump gives a fuck about us. I work as a server. I can guarantee you right now, I will continue to pay taxes on my tips. 100%. When I'm wrong, I will let you guys know. But these people, they'll say a lot of things and lie a lot, but not really do anything. They lie a lot more than the Democrats. I think the Democrats, when they run, they should at least lie, but they don't even lie, so that they can't even win people over. But the Republicans, yes. Any sort of working class rhetoric that they have is just fucking bullshit. All they do is, continue to fund politicians or not cut taxes, allow, deregulation, so that, the Koch brothers can further destroy our forests and our trees and our wildlife and frack more oil out of our earth. So, that's what the Republicans actually want. So do the Democrats, but the Republicans, they really turn it up a notch.
They've got union voters that are leaving their party. They've got men, black men, Latin, Hispanic men leaving the party, voting for Donald Trump. He has been able to speak to middle class and working class voters all across this country, whatever race they are, whatever gender they are, and they're voting on those issues. And that's usually what drives elections, and it certainly drove this election this time. And then also we talk about immigration too. Immigration.
This is because he talks like a politician, not because of his policies. Vote for people based off of their policies, not because they say edgy things in their campaign trail. I'll be moving on to the next segment. It's time to take the red pill.
You gotta take it.
We are red pilled on this channel. We take the red pill. For y'all who don't know about the red pill, tap in, but red pill challenge.
That's what matters.
Fool, why aren't you taking your red pill? Took your blue pill?
Yeah.
Fucking.
That's another. That's 50 cents extra.
I was about to say something. I didn't say it though.
But you thought of it.
Once we're not on YouTube and Twitch, I would have said what I would have said.
Former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi shot back. And this is how she explained the Democrats losing ground with working class.
Well, there are cultural issues involved in elections as well. Guns, God, and gays. That's the way they say it. Guns, that's an issue. Gays, that's an issue. Now they're making the...
Nancy Pelosi thinks that the gays are an issue. What should we do about those pesky gays since they're such an issue? As a society, let's quit acting like human rights are a discussion. They're not a discussion. They should be universal and granted. And fucking old bags like Nancy Pelosi can shut the fuck up. The gays aren't an issue. Being gay is normal and it's legal and it should be allowed. So sorry that, you're trying to appeal to your Republican friends, but you're just as bad as they are because you literally just said it. The gays are an issue. I don't think they're an issue. I don't think gay people are an issue. Do you think gay people are an issue?
Yes.
Yes, yeah.
No.
That's fair. That's fair. I think they're an issue for different reasons.
Exactly.
Trans issue. Such an important...
I think that butt sex is an issue. The gays, that's fine. You guys can suck each other off. But butt sex, fornication, sodomy, nah.
issue and their priorities.
Now, Sanders responded to Pelosi's rebuke this morning during an interview with my colleague Kristen Welker on NBC's Meet the Press.
Bottom line, if you're an average working person out there, do you really think that the Democratic Party is going to the mats, taking on powerful special interests and fighting for you? I think the overwhelming answer is no.
Now, Sanders made a lot of these same arguments after the Democrats lost to Trump in 2016, but many Democrats weren't listening. This time around, though, he has some surprising new backers, like Senator Chris Murphy of Connecticut, who is far, far from a left-wing Democrat. This is what he posted on X. It was a long thread, but part of it reads, when progressives like Bernie aggressively go after the elites that hold people down, they are shunned as dangerous populists. Why? Maybe because true economic populism is bad for our high-income base. We cannot be afraid of fights, especially with the economic elites who have profited off of neoliberalism. Democrats, like the Harris campaign, are tepid in our fights with billionaires and corporations. And real economic populism should be our tentpole. But it's not just Senator Murphy who has, been Bernie-pilled. Conservative New York Times columnist David Brooks, who has written columns like this one from 2020 called "No, Not Sanders."
And David Brooks, Donald Trump being our president is the consequence of you hating on people who want economic equity for the working class. This is your fault, David Brooks. Just because you change your mind now doesn't take away the consequences of your actions when you write dumb fucking articles like, no, not Sanders ever. Now we have Trump as our fucking president because of shit like what you decide to write and publish.
Not ever.
Can you do me a favor? Can you push the blanket more towards the door?
Had this to say after Trump's victory. I'm a moderate. I like it when Democrat candidates run to the center, but I have to confess that Harris did that pretty effectively, and it did not work. Maybe the Democrats have to embrace a Bernie Sanders-style disruption, something that will make people like me feel uncomfortable. And then there's good reason for Brooks' change of hearts. On election night, despite Trump winning a decisive victory and Republicans retaking the Senate and likely the House, voters also voted in favor of progressive ballot measures like raising the minimum.
The end of the TV should be like right on the border of the shot. I think that's good. More. You had it right before. Sorry. Sweet. We're good.
Wage and paid sick leave. And this was in red states like Arizona, Missouri, and Alaska. There's also logic behind Senator Murphy's fear that Bernie-style populism, even after this election, will get shut down by Democrats that are elite. If you can remember, early on in Harris's campaign, she briefly took a populist tone and went on the attack against big business. Then that populism somehow disappeared as quickly as it came. Well, according to The Atlantic, Harris's brother-in-law, Tony West, who also happens to be Uber's chief legal officer, was behind that change in tone. He reportedly pushed for Harris to win over more CEOs and billionaires like Mark Cuban, who became one of the campaign's chief surrogates. Now, this tracks with reporting late in the campaign where Harris's team was bragging to the New York Times about how Wall Street was shaping her agenda.
We love Wall Street here. We're big Wall Street fans here on this channel. Don't get me wrong, I've slandered Trump a lot in the beginning of this show because fuck Donald Trump, he's our new president and he wants to do horrible things to people. But Trump's actions have only been allowed to be facilitated because people like Joe Biden and Kamala Harris exist. Because they allow people like Trump to have a voice in our politics. They pass the baton over to Donald Trump when he wins an election, even after he tried to do a coup d'etat on our Capitol building. So just remember, the enemy is all politicians, not just Donald Trump. And this gets me into my next segment. So, Donald Trump sucks. He's an idiot. But when the Republicans win, I'm not that concerned about Donald Trump. What I am concerned about is the 2-3 dozen people he chooses to run our country after. And we're going to go over that right now. Starting with the Chief of Staff. I want you to understand these are his advisors. Now that he has full control of all sectors of our politics, these are the people making these decisions that are going to impact our country. Chief of Staff Susie Wiles. She's a lobbyist, which means she gets paid to vote to represent the Northern Dynasty Minerals Company, which does mining in Alaska. Services, a waste management company that disposes of toxic waste in public spaces so that we can get infected by them. For-profit foreign media, and also a lobbyist for Mercury Public Affairs, who represent wonderful companies like Nestle, the country of Qatar, Pfizer, and Kellogg's. Trump also elected Matt Gaetz as Attorney General. As of this recording, he stepped down, probably because he was getting so much heat. But Matt Gaetz, who allegedly had sex with a 17-year-old girl and paid her on Cash App and Venmo for her services. Also drives drunk, and also multiple 17-year-old girls. Then we have, oh my goodness, our new Secretary of State, Marco Rubio. Small hands Marco Rubio, who hated Trump so much, just to get elected by him and listen to the things that he has to say. Also, Marco Rubio, who said, quote unquote, "I don't believe that global warming is caused by humans like the scientists say it is." If you don't believe in science, you should be nowhere near political office. Russian asset and cult member Tulsi Gabbard, who rubs shoulders with Syrian dictator Bashar al-Assad, is pro-conversion therapy, which means she thinks that gay people should be sent to mental asylums to ungay them, as well as trans people to untrans people. Is also friends with Fattah el-Sisi, the fascist dictator in Egypt, and is a proud member of the Science of Identity cult. She prays to, her leader is Jagat Guru Siddheshwaru Pandana Paramahamsa, otherwise known as Chris Butler.
Did you even pronounce that right?
I think I did a pretty good job. I mean, you can read it after. I think I kind of nailed it. But our United Nations ambassador is Ellie Stefanik, who attempted to overthrow the 2020 election and was removed from the Harvard Politics Institute because of it, and also promotes the Great Replacement theory, the white supremacist ideology that the Jews are sending Mexicans and Asians to this country to change the cultural fabric of America. Like I said about Trump and how he believes that the cultural fabric and the blood of America is being tainted by these infidels. At least Stefanik believes in that. Same thing as Trump. Elon Musk in charge of government efficiency. Allowed his employees to get hurt because he doesn't like the color red, and instead of having red tape on his floors for safety measures, he put yellow tape that was harder to see, and people got hurt because of it. I'm sorry, what were you gonna say?
He really did get elected, Elon Musk. Like in his,
he got a cabinet position
for
the Department of something G, like greater like efficiency, because it's Doge. Like the I know, it's fucking lame.
That's definitely lame.
Yeah. Also another Russian puppet. And called a rescue diver who helped out trapped cave miners in the Philippines. He called the guy who rescued them pedophiles because he rescued them faster than Elon Musk could with his submarines, and he got his ego checked. So he called the dude who rescued the cave miners a pedophile because he did it before Musk did it.
Yeah.
I don't just say shit. You could look everything up that I'm saying because it's all fucking true. RFK, the what is he, like the grandson? No, like great. He's like a relative of the Kennedys. He went to Samoa to tell people that vaccines cause autism. 80 Samoan kids ended up dying that year because their parents didn't give them the vaccine. So RFK killer of 80 Samoan kids. Also various sexual misconduct cases. This is the guy who's going to make sure that there's no toxins in our food. He's also jacked full of steroids. Pete Hegseth, Secretary of Defense, Fox News host, doesn't believe women should be in the military, and has pardoned war criminals in the state of Georgia, and just regular criminals in the state of Georgia who went on to later kill other people. So, Lee Zedlin is going to be the administrator of the Environmental Protection Agency. She is pro-fracking. She was graded 14% by the League of Conservation Voters, and receives donations from fossil fuel companies. This is the Environmental Regulations Protection Administrator. John Ratcliffe, CIA director. Not much about him. He mishandled classified information during Trump's term. He's also just like a bootlicker. Secretary of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem, the governor of North or South Dakota. She's banned by all 9 tribes in South Dakota. She's banned by all 9 Native American tribes in South Dakota. She killed her pet dog, and she also denies climate change. Trump hiring dog killers is a consistent theme. Trump loves to hire people who kills dogs. Why? I don't know. Oh, you're good. I just went back and forth with you because it's funny when you comment stuff and then we back and forth. You feel me? I'll pay you for your time. Israeli ambassador Mike Huckabee. He's a Baptist who believes in the rapture. He doesn't give a fuck about Jews. He just believes that the Jews have to get sucked into the portal, and that's why he is in charge of Israel winning the holy war in Palestine, so that the Israelis eliminate the infidel Palestinians and can start the rapture. We're electing smart people who believe in science and logic into our positions. He's also a Fox News host, and he said that gays marrying is a greater threat than terrorism.
I mean...
He's not wrong.
He's not wrong. That's just, oh my god, there's so much to unpack on that, just one sentence.
Yeah. We're almost done. White House counsel, William McGinley. He's just a Republican lawyer, is a bootlicker, not that much on him.
He sounds like the most wholesome one out of the people you've said.
He literally is. He's literally the best one. He's just he just sucks Trump's dick, and that's all he really does. He
just blazes him up.
Because he's a lawyer, he can't really take lobbying donations or anything like that. But he just defends Trump in legal battles.
Oh, that's why he must have got a cabinet spot because he won him the legal battle.
I mean, because that's the way Trump operates. Trump is if you agree with me, I'll give you a good position. He doesn't give a fuck about people who are competent. They're just as long as you say yes, that's all he looks for.
Yeah.
The U.S. Attorney for Southern New York District, Jay Clayton. No criminal law experience. Great for a district attorney. Also, made it easier for corporations to take advantage of stock trading and the SEC. Attorney General Todd Blanche represents people like Paul Manafort and Igor Fruman. This is Trump's lead defense attorney. Not that much on him either. Communications Director Stephen Chung. He's just a chud. He's just a Trump bootlicker. Him too. And Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt, another Trump bootlicker.
Any Democrats in the cabinet?
No. Not even moderate fucking Republicans. And last one, I promised you more dog killing. Dr. Mehmet Oz. Dr. Oz, like you've seen him on daytime television. He is going to be in charge of Medicare and Medicaid in this country. A little bit about him. He does medical fraud. He is a snake oil salesman. And he also killed 300 dogs.
Killed 300 dogs?
Yeah. He did medical testing on dogs as like an experiment, and like 300 died. So we have 2 cabinet members that willingly kill dogs. What are you looking up?
What he looks like?
Oh, you should look it up on here so everyone can see, fool.
Dr. Oz.
Also promoted hydrochloroquine during the pandemic as an alternative to the vaccine. Definitely led to human deaths, not only dog deaths.
Proposed massive change to Medicare. I wonder what it is.
But
he proposed a massive change. I'm just curious.
What did he say? Oh, it's just private healthcare.
Oh.
Wonderful. No more Obamacare. Everyone who's poor, you have to buy private healthcare.
Literally, if anything happens to me, I'm not getting an ambulance. I will literally, like, if I get a seizure, just let me, like, flip out there and just, like, I'll be okay, you know?
Yeah. I mean, the way it works in this country, if you have a 9 to 5 and a stable job,
what if
it's
you
not
don't?
a big deal.
Yeah, not a big deal, but what if you do? You don't.
Exactly. The people who are like, oh, private Medicare is good. It's good for you as someone who has, you know, money in the bank and is working a 9 to 5. But if you don't have a job, if you go into labor, they'll charge you $5,000 just to deliver a baby in this country. Because we don't have, if we get rid of Medicare and Medicaid, we don't have a base level of healthcare that people can access. Even still, people without jobs, even with Obamacare, still have to pay for medicine in this country. And many people go not treating their healthcare issues because it costs too much, even if it only costs $100 a month, because many people can't afford $100 a month. Everyone should have access to healthcare. It's the reason I pay taxes. If I pay taxes, I should get healthcare in return.
At least. I didn't know he had a show. He deadass has a show.
You didn't know that?
No, I'm never. I'm
He's
not
had a show
on the
for
daily
like 10
show.
years.
I don't have cable, so.
I mean, like, still in popular culture, like, he's like a Dr. Phil. He's literally like that level of, like, superstar. He's like a Dr. Phil.
Oh my god, that's exciting for the future of Medicare and Medicaid. The necessity to, like, survive.
Yeah.
Deadass. Survive.
It's like hiring Dr. Phil to be like Department of Education. He's probably gonna hire someone worse for the Department of Education than Dr. Phil to be honest.
You think he'll, like, put an episode of, like, how he's gonna, like, change Medicare and, like, how he's gonna charge people.
Well, he doesn't have it shown anymore, I'm pretty sure. I think he went off the air a while ago. After he killed the dogs. After he killed 300 dogs.
He's gonna bring it back. He's gonna bring it back, 100%.
Fuck.
I vote for that instead of him being in charge of that position.
Vote for what? The dog killing or the...
Whoa. No, that's American's bet. You can't say that. I vote for him getting his show back.
Hey, how many more deaths are we gonna have? Dog deaths or human deaths with Trump's presidency?
I feel like, damn, he's gonna end nursing home staff. Oh shoot. Trimming Medicaid, dude, is just coverage for people, experts. Damn, he's already gonna trim down the cost of Medicaid. It's not like it's just crazy.
Trim down the cost?
Yeah. So he's
gonna do that.
He's gonna make the budget less.
By getting rid of a lot of different like medical care options.
Like we had so many Medicaid, like, you know what I'm saying? Like we had like premium selections already to say.
Well, Medicaid is for old people. Medicare is what we have.
Yeah. So we just said,
which is worse because we have less problems, but old people have more problems and more complex problems. So if he's gonna trim off like the high level surgeries for old people, that's even shittier. Like I could survive with cuts to my shit, but if you get rid of like hip surgery for old people, like that's even more fucked up. Don't get me wrong, like I don't want these fucking assholes to take away my rights either. Exactly. But like,
that's,
from a harm reductionist perspective, like So, how do we legislate this? A lot of people say, a lot of Trump supporters are like, having Kamala Harris win is fascism because we didn't elect Kamala Harris, she just went into power, which is true. I agree with that. But did we elect these 30 fucking assholes that I just listed off this sheet either? I want Republicans to be pissed about this shit. If you complained about Kamala Harris being a fucking fascist, you should complain about all these people being unelected by the people and just put into positions of power because they happen to be friends with the president. So,
what was your first reaction when you just saw the list of 30? What was like one word you can be like?
I knew that these people were shitty because like I like politics. It interests me. I've been looking it up for a while, but and I knew that like Tulsi Gabbard was like a war hawk. She likes to just like kill brown kids and stuff like that, and that she was like kind of anti-gay, but like I didn't know she was like part of a cult. You feel me? Like there's certain details I was like, are you for real? Like.
Did it take much research to find that? Like, oh, she's in a cult.
No, not really.
Just 2 clicks.
It's like 2 clicks, dog. And like for instance, like Christy Nome, she killed her dog because she got a dog from the pound or the rescuer, puppy breeder, and she couldn't like the dog. The dog wouldn't learn how to hunt. The dog wouldn't learn how to hunt, so she fucking just killed it.
Do you think? I'm seeing something in common right here. Do you think? In order to be Trump's candidate in the cabinet, do you think you have to kill a dog? Is like is like a check mark kind of thing?
I mean, 2 out of 20 people have killed dogs on my sheet. This is just reported dog deaths. Think about all the unreported dog deaths to the people on this fucking sheet.
Yeah, that's fun. Anyways.
We gotta keep going.
We gotta keep going.
Oh, wait. Oh, I'm sorry. Last part. Every single position in government, as well as every single decision in government, should be voted on, should be legislated on. I believe in democracy. I believe in the voice of the people. I believe that me and Alejandro and you, the viewer, are smarter than all these fucking asshole politicians who think that know what is best for us. If we vote 100% on all the decisions, we don't allow slimy fucks like Dr. Oz to decide who gets healthcare and who doesn't get healthcare. So we need to mandate voting on all members of cabinet as well as all different things. And if you're in government, we have lobbyists like Susie Wiles who actively take money from Qatar. I don't think politicians should be allowed to make money from Qatar when they're in office. They should make money from government, and that's it. If you take any money from anywhere else, you should go straight to fucking prison. And we should pay our politicians good, because if you choose to be a politician and only get paid from the government, it's an important job and it's a really good job. But you shouldn't make money from other sources because it impacts your decision making, and that's not fair for the American people.
That's what?
I thought you were gonna say something. You just,
what was
you
gonna
just
say?
looked at me.
No. Do you want me to play?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're almost done.
To do it, So far, Trump has declined to give too many specific details about his plan. But fortunately for us, his advisors and allies haven't been so
And like the video that we watched earlier, a lot of people who are apolitical or don't vote will just say, "Oh, there was less war when Trump was in office 4 years ago. Joe Biden went into office and there's all these wars." And Trump is going to say, "Oh, watch, I'm going to end the war in Ukraine." Trump is going to end the war in Ukraine by giving all of Ukrainian land away and just being like, "Okay, Russia, it's okay to just invade any country. We're just going to give you the territory legally rather than, supplying defense for the countries trying to defend against you." So when Trump is an anti-war president, it's because he's okay with Israel just killing all the Palestinians and just having Palestine dissolve. That gets rid of the war. If you kill all of them, there is no war left, right? If you kill all the Ukrainians, there's no war in Ukraine anymore. So when Trump is an anti-war candidate, it just means that he funds the fascists so openly and directly that the war disappears because he just lets the bad guy win. So that's this is gonna justify my point right now.
Tight-lipped. In an interview with the Sean Ryan Show in September, Trump's Vice President J.D. Vance laid out Trump's plans pretty clearly. Broadly speaking, there were two elements to Vance's peace plan in Ukraine. First, a complete ceasefire along the current front line, which stretches about 1,300 kilometers. And second, Ukrainian neutrality. According to Vance, the first bit...
Can I just make a side note?
You're allowed to say anything you want. Jack Daniels?
Yeah.
What does it stand for?
Yeah. This is crazy. Anyways.
Fuck you. Literally,
Bro, look, literally.
This is, I can't believe you're the second person that said this. I'm so pissed.
Do that smile, and you're literally JD Vance.
I'm gonna have to assassinate him in Roblox.
A freeze along the current front lines would pave the way for the creation of a demilitarized zone, presumably akin to the one between North and South Korea.
So he wants to have a peace treaty on the border of...
Oh, wait. Gabe says he can't hear anything.
From the stream or my headphones?
Can you hear Sandro? And hi. Want to see something cool?
Thank you. Hi, Elizabeth. Hi. But like I stated, were you gonna say something?
I wasn't gonna say anything.
Okay. Like I stated, he's gonna end the war by just giving all the land that Russia is occupying to Russia. So why fight against fascism when we could just let the bad guys take everything over and invade again over and over and over again?
It keeps cutting out when Alejandro can come on. What? I guess it's saying it just cuts out when I press the button. That's what he says.
I don't think that's true. It's never done that before.
It's okay.
Oh.
I don't know what he means.
Oh, you know what? I might have to configure Streamlabs differently.
It's all good. It's part of the learning.
Yeah, we're still figuring out the tech and whatnot. Sorry about that.
Korea, which is about
to me.
I think
to my cam, it goes silent. So when I switch to my cam. He can't hear.
We have to sync up the audio better to the webcam.
Okay,
that we need to fix that source. We'll fix that source.
So right now you can hear me, but if I switch.
About 4 kilometers wide and heavily fortified.
I think
the video should be good.
Yeah, I think the video should be okay. At least when I do go to I feel like we don't have it like synced up. Just for a note.
That's cool. I'll fix that after tonight.
This implies Ukraine giving up about a fifth of its land, which is currently controlled by Russia. This includes Crimea, which Russia annexed in 2014, about 80% of the Donetsk and Luhansk oblasts, and about 70% of the southern Zaporizhzhia.
Sorry.
If you guys didn't know, we're gonna next stream. We're making a swear jar. We're gonna get a swear jar, and every time Sandra cusses, he has to put 50 cents.
This one is going to Ukraine though.
To charity.
To charity.
And it's
to
gonna be
Ukrainian charity. Ukrainian dog charity.
Yeah.
Fucking dumb.
Exactly.
Go play it.
Don't tell me what to do. Come on.
Asia.
Silly.
It's a suggestion. You don't
did I play it? No, let me play it.
And Kherson Oblast.
That's it.
Before we get into this, because this is the last video of the day, I want to go over a little bit what we just touched on, which is Trump and nativism and the outcomes that the Trump election is going to have on the rest of the world. Something that Trump mentioned that he is going to do is put tariffs on pretty much every foreign country, especially the countries we trade with the most. And what are we going to see as Americans? Our economy in the next 1 or 2 years is going to go up, because now we're taxing all of these countries to trade with us for the things that we already have to trade. And people are going to be like, wow, Donald Trump fucking increasing our economy. After those 2 years expire and these other countries say, fuck America, we're not going to pay your 60-70% tariffs, we're going to go trade somewhere else. Our economy is going to fucking collapse. Nativism never works. Trading with the world stimulates the economy exponentially more than just trading with yourself. We need resources from other countries. Countries need resources from us. The more trade that happens in the world, the better the world becomes, the more the economy stimulates, the more we grow. But conservatives and racist conservatives believe that we should only trade with ourselves. So we as Americans in the coming years will pay the consequences for this. And I can back this statement up with evidence. Another famous nativist, Adolf Hitler, decided to only industrialize in Germany and not trade with other people and kick minorities out of Germany. Adolf Hitler was a nativist. He believed in only Germany, and that's it. What happened to Adolf Hitler's Germany? Obviously doesn't fucking exist anymore. He killed himself. It didn't work. Hopefully Trump kills himself in Roblox. But not trading with other countries only leads to a worse economy for America, less GDP, less growth, and it's very detrimental. Although we're gonna see short-term increases, in the long run, every country is gonna fucking hate us and lead to our downfall.
You gotta stop cussing, bro.
I'm sorry, dog. It is what it is, fool. I'm not looking for monetization. I just say what I want to say, fool. And like they said, Trump is going to increase tariffs on China and Europe, meaning that we're going to trade less with these countries. The less trade that happens, the less economic growth. And anti-trade and anti-freedom policies keep human beings from reaching the stars and reaching our full potential. So it's sad and it's unfortunate. Last thing, Netanyahu is so happy that Donald Trump has been elected because he could just continue to kill without being reprimanded. So that's the global impact. We're going to watch a little piece on Nazism for everyone who's saying, wow, Alessandro's over-exaggerating, comparing the Republicans to Nazis. And, you know, Republicans, they just go and talk and say things. They don't actually want to kill. That's what the Germans thought about their Nazi party. And guess how many people they killed? 6 million. Guess how many Trump wants to kill? Or genocide, 11 million. So keep that in mind when you say that it can't happen in this country. Y'all were just talking shit on me in the chat.
We do have 6 viewers currently.
6 viewers?
In Jerusalem on April 11th, 1961.
Hey, thank you, 6 viewers. I hope y'all are enjoying the show. Every Thursday, tap in.
Adolf Eichmann stood trial for crimes against humanity. Eichmann had been a Nazi official tasked with organizing the transport of over 1.5 million European Jews to ghettos and concentration camps. He was popularly described as an evil mastermind who orchestrated atrocities from a cushy German office, and many were eager to see the so-called desk murderer tried for his crimes. But the squeamish man who took the stand seemed more like a dull bureaucrat than a sadistic killer. The disparity
Much like a J.D. Vance or most Republican politicians who are just empty suits and just say words. Oh, Marco Rubio could never hurt a fly, but their words and their obedience to a greater good has consequences and impact.
between Eichmann's nature and his actions was unsettling for many viewers. But for philosopher Hannah Arendt, this contradiction inspired a disturbing revelation. Arendt was a German Jew who fled her homeland in 1933 after being briefly imprisoned by the German secret police. As a refugee in France and then the United States, she dedicated herself to understanding how the Nazi regime came to power, and more specifically, how it inspired so many atrocities. A common opinion.
You're talking shit, you're not even. It's like, wow, your fucking host is such a square.
No, it's not even that.
What?
So, Gabe was G Money SS. Sorry, but basically, Gabe, and then there's another guy now, E Money SS.
Wait, is it E Money SS? Get the fuck out of here.
Says,
Hey, that has to be an alt, bro.
And then he says, oh, to G Money SS, I'm you but stronger.
There's no way that's not him and just another account. Get the fuck out of here. E Money SS.
And I told G Money SS, hey, you're playing too much. This is you.
Hey, the people who are watching right now, if I get the 50 subs, I become a Twitch partner. So if you want to subscribe, that'll be much appreciated.
Oh, then E Money SS is now sad because we're saying it's a fake account. It's just G Money SS.
Like, that's just so much of a coincidence. I mean, granted, 2 people call me JD Vance, so this could be possible for, like...
Oh, wait, doesn't he... I'm gonna take a poll. Doesn't he look like JD Vance?
Fuck you.
Doesn't...
Opinion at the time was that the Third Reich was a historical oddity, a perfect storm of uniquely evil leaders supported by German citizens looking for revenge after their defeat in World War I. But Arendt believed the true conditions behind this unprecedented rise of totalitarianism weren't specific to Germany. Throughout the 1950s, Arendt developed a theory of the human condition that divided life into 3 facets: labor, in which we satisfy our material needs and desires; work, in which we build the world's physical and cultural infrastructure; and action, in which we publicly articulate our values to collectively shape the world around us. It was this last facet, the life of action, that Arendt believed was under attack, both in Germany.
And the scariest part is that here in America, we never do action. We very, very rarely do action. when it comes to economic stuff, we as Americans have at least, we did the George Floyd protests, the Black Lives Matter protests, we did the civil rights protests, but when it comes to economic issues, we never, ever, 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 ever organize. And one of the reasons, like they stated, is because we have so much work, we have so much labor, we work a lot more than most other countries. On average, Americans are workaholics. And because of this, we don't have time to think about our condition and how we can improve our condition because we're so worried about working just to survive. So we need to work less, like the Scandinavians, like 4 days a week if we could, and think about our condition, because if we, instead of just work, decided to organize, demand that our taxes go to where they should go rather than go into politicians' hands, we wouldn't have to work so hard, because our taxes are now working for us finally, because 95% of our taxes get stolen by CEOs and politicians. Damn, at least communicate with me a little bit on what's going on. Look, you got this fat ass smirk going on, and you're just fucking chilling over here. Like,
no, continue. It's cool.
And many other industrialized societies. She saw modernity as an age ruled by labor, where individuals mainly appear in the social world to produce and consume goods and services rather than share ideas and shape communities. Arendt believed this had
Americans, we do not have a third space. The concept of a third space is a place for you to be at that's not work, and that's not at home. For many Europeans and Asians and other cultures, it's a bar or an after school program, somewhere where I can meet up with people in my community and talk about things, but we don't have that here. We need to make this a thing. A third place can easily be your local city hall, a community group or something like that. But since we don't have a third place, we don't get to share ideas as a community. We are one of the most insular societies as Americans, especially in suburbia. We're just in our little house and we barely even talk to our neighbors. Don't socially isolate. Make sure you're involved with your community and you engage and whatnot.
Fostered societies and ideologies where individuals were seen only for their economic value rather than their moral and political capacities. She believed this isolated people from their neighbors and their sense of self. And in her 1951 book, The Origins of Totalitarianism, Arendt argued these conditions provided fertile ground for totalitarian regimes, which use fear and violence.
The more isolated we are, the more susceptible to totalitarianism we are. And we're super isolated in this country. Super, 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 super isolated. Think about when the last time you talked to someone who wasn't at your job or at your school was.
To increase
And who wasn't working, like a server or a barista or something.
isolation and make it dangerous to publicly engage as free-thinking political agents. In this lonely state, participating in the regime becomes the only way to recover a sense of identity and community. Arendt believed it was this kind of environment where Eichmann committed his crimes. Most people expected the Jewish German philosopher to judge the ex-Nazi harshly, but while she condemned his monstrous actions, Arendt saw no evidence that Eichmann himself was uniquely evil. She saw him as a distinctly ordinary man who considered diligent obedience the highest form of civic duty. And for Arendt, it was exactly this ordinariness that was most terrifying.
And it's how could we ever commit a tragedy in this country? Because people are willing to obey orders. Because people don't challenge the status quo. People are okay with unjust laws. You shouldn't be okay with unjust laws. Even if the majority of your democracy votes on banning abortion, you should not be okay with that. You should go out into the streets and protest, because human rights are not a thing you should vote on. They are a thing that's mandatory. The things you should vote on are the economy and efficiency, not whether gay people should exist, whether women can have abortions, whether brown people should exist. Those aren't things up for debate.
Her point wasn't just that anyone could do what Eichmann did, but that his story suggested ordinary people could willingly accept their societal role, even when it contributed to genocide. Arendt called this phenomenon the banality of evil, and warned that it can emerge whenever society inhibits our ability to think.
And this not only goes for government officials, but people who work for corporations like a Raytheon or a Boeing or the Coke Industries. Just because you're getting paid to do a job, if you're able to get such a high-paying job, try and be mindful of who you're supporting and helping, as well as your impact on the world around you. A lot of people don't think about their impact on the world around them, so make sure that you're mindful of that. Like, I try and be mindful of how many times I use ChatGPT. You know, I'm not a perfect human being, but I try and be aware of, hey, if I throw my water bottle out into the street, it's not going to get recycled. I try and be responsible for myself, and people should be responsible even when it comes to making a profit, especially if they can afford to live slightly under their means and do a lot better for their community. I promise you that little pay cut you're going to take is going to make you a much happier and fulfilled person compared to just living for profit and profit's sake.
Or more specifically, to question our beliefs and actions in a self-reflective internal dialogue. Arendt believed this kind of thinking is the only way to confront moral problems, and that our responsibility to self-reflect is especially important when independent thought is threatened. She acknowledged that critical thinking in oppressive spaces is a defiant act that requires personal courage, but it must be done regardless, which is why Arendt still held Eichmann accountable. This thread runs throughout Arendt's work, where she continually insisted that thinking was our greatest weapon against the threats of modernity, namely, a relentless drive for economic and technological development, which would increase social alienation and inhibit human freedom. To foster this essential value, Arendt believed we need to create formal and informal forums that allowed for open conversations.
Hey, we did, was it one ChatGPT search, 1.5 liters of water?
Yeah.
I think that's acceptable. If I used it for every question on the show, that would be like taking an extra shower. But 1.5 liters, like, I drink 1.5 liters in a day. I don't think that's bad. I think we're doing a service for the community. No, I there's just not a lot of ethical consumption under capitalism, but I think that, you know, using those searches and then transmitting them through the internet instead of having other people do those same searches and just watching the platform instead is a service to the community.
Yeah.
Obviously, be mindful and whatnot. But
so if you're using ChatGPT on stream, it's definitely more helpful than not using it.
I think for certain things, for very particular things, I think for relaying like important information, like if I have 10,000 people on my stream, and let's say and they're, you know, people from California, and I look up best volunteering services to look up in California, I do think that does have value, even if it wastes 1.5 liters of water. But, you know, people can disagree with me on that, but that's what I believe. And I'll try and minimize that the longer I go, but we're only working with so many things. It costs money to keep the camera and the TV and the lights on. It costs energy to do all of that. So, you know, it is what it is, but we try and work under our means. And I think that using that for a few times is working under our means. But, you know, you can disagree and whatnot. Look at this motherfucker finding the right emoji to roast me in the fucking chat. Fucking asshole.
About shaping our collective future. These might include town hall meetings, self-governing workplaces, or student unions. But whatever shape they take, what's most important to Arendt is that they value open dialogue and critical self-reflection. Standing up for what's right in the face of injustice takes courage. Get to know the story of Irena Sendler, who smuggled 2,000 children out of the Warsaw Ghetto during World War II with this video.
Damn.
So, in summation, voting is important, it's good, prevents you from having to deal with fascism and why wouldn't you just Google it? I'm sorry, I'm gonna address the chat real quick. Because sometimes for specific information, let's say I'm producing my show and I need to find something concisely that's not easy to find with search. Sometimes it's worth my time to find something concise. If I ask ChatGPT to find me evidence that a certain politician has done a scam, if I could use the entire, an artificial intelligence to find that specific article rather than wasting 3-4 hours on finding that one article and then dispersing that information to the public, I think that is valuable. Like I said, you pick and choose your battles, and it's like, I'm wasting energy just existing. I don't think that, a couple searches is going to be the downfall of humanity. I think there's a lot of people doing a lot more searches, and I think also me saying this in front of a camera is a beneficial thing as well. But I mean, you could disagree with me if you want.
That's fair.
What do you think?
So G Money says, where did ChatGPT tell you to volunteer?
Well, we're gonna go over that. We're gonna do another stream where we're gonna deep dive into local communities that we can join and whatnot. It's something that I've been meaning to do. I finally have a job now, so I could dedicate a couple hours to community service and whatnot. But that is something that I do need to talk about on the channel, and that is something that we will get into, because it's something that I strongly believe in, and it's something that I preach in front of the camera. So it's it's the only way that we as human race will ever beat these fucking assholes that I talk shit to on stream.
Okay, continue.
Yeah. Voting is good. Voting is important, but voting isn't the solution for having humanity ascend and reach the stars. Voting is just what we use to prevent fascism from preventing the right to speak on a camera and distribute ideas to other people. Voting is important to keep people like Trump from taking the freedoms away from people like me to talk about the things that we need to talk about and organize. If you don't have any free speech, if I can't talk about what I'm talking about, how are we able to ever improve humanity? But vote. Just because it's not the solution, vote. But know that we need to do more than just vote. Voting is the bare minimum. If you actually want to do stuff, go out into your community. Go talk to other people. Go help the less fortunate. And even going into government buildings and talking to people in your community, and even streaming. I don't want everyone to be a streamer, but more people streaming and talking about this influences more people to go out into the streets, and I think that's a good thing. And voting needs to be a mandatory requirement. Everyone has to vote. What are you looking at?
G Money said, vote sells, mad Trump won, MAGA 2028.
I am mad. And watch, that fool's not gonna do another election. He's just gonna be the president till he dies.
Yeah.
Low key. Actually, nah. I think what Trump is gonna do is he's gonna gerrymander so hard that he's gonna have another election, but have it be like mathematically impossible for anyone other than him to win. I could see that happening. Or at least fund enough propaganda to make sure that he wins and no one else does.
We'll see. Only time will tell.
That's the stream, fool.
That's the stream?
That's the stream, bro.
Damn.
Yeah. What does the chat say? Did y'all enjoy the stream? I hope you guys liked it. This is our first one. Every week on Thursday.
G Money says I'm too busy for mandatory voting.
I think that you should get paid though. Like I said, mandatory voting should be paid for. Whatever you're earning. If you have to take a day or 2 days off of work to vote,
Adding it to your check too.
you should get paid for that.
That'd be a nice little check.
That's how it should be, because you're doing public service. And like I said, it prevents people from not voting because they have to go to work, you know. People who have to go to work to make a living, they're going to be like, fuck voting. I regardless of who I vote for, I'm fucked in this society anyway. Why would I waste a day of work that I could use to feed my family when I could just, you know, go make some money? Or, just not vote.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I'm not sharing information.
I'm sorry, I just
dumbass.
tired. Yeah.
You hey, switch to the co-host now that we're not like we finished all the topics. They can see you, and then we can switch back.
They really want to see me, huh?
Could press a button. We could go silent for 3 seconds.
Nah, it's just like
Nah,
I
he's
can't
shy.
do it. I'm shy
He's
now.
shy.
I'm shy now.
He's so shy.
Now when it's like,
He's so shy.
Please, nah. Yeah, it's been a long stream, you know. You just had to hop on to see my face.
Hey, real shit though. If there's anything we can improve on off of this stream, please give me feedback. I'm trying to improve the quality of the stream.
Can you hear me now?
Oh yeah, because now it's on me again.
That's. So every time I press this button.
So when the webcam's on you,
yeah,
they don't hear anything. That's why I said go silent for 3 seconds and then flip back. I'll fix it right now.
2 plates. I wish. Yeah.
It looks like you gave Ben's 2 plates.
That's true. That's true.
Ali Cam, please, in the trans hearts.
That has to be a thing now. Like Ali Cam.
Ali Cam, it's a privilege that like you always see me, so like who gives a fuck? But like it's a privilege to get to see you. You know, only for special events you get
only
to
for
see
special
the Ali
events.
Cam.
Yeah.
If we burn you out, it's not gonna be special no more.
Yeah, I feel like we can improve on the audio stuff, but we'll get to that.
That I'm gonna fix tonight.
Yeah.
Well, at least the audio part on the webcam.
I pull my hair with any outfit. That you'll find me ugly and one day you'll disappear. Cause what's the point of crying? It was never.
Damn, that's all fucked up.
Can you not smoke weed? Yeah, that's kind of like.
It makes you paranoid.
It does.
Of what?
It's just we might have younger audience. I don't want them to like be a bad influence.
It's 18 up and upstream.
How do you know it's for real? Like it shows the settings 18 and up.
I'm pretty sure I put like I put that.
Oh, okay.
No, so it's like filtered.
I'm 12.
You're 12, then get off the fucking stream.
Stop cut. There you go again.
Ah man, déjame parce, o sea.
Yeah. Bro, you're capping. It's literally the same person.
Hey, fool, can you subscribe with your other account? I'm 2 subscribers away from getting a partnership with Twitch.
Low key, maybe don't subscribe. You know, it has to be real subscribers.
Fool, but I just wanna get the partner, fool.
E-Money isn't G-Money. I can confirm.
I mean, E-Money, can you drop a sub if you?
Yeah, you have to talk to E-Money directly.
I am talking to E-Money.
I'm thinking about it. Honestly, no hard feelings if you don't. You know, like
I'm thinking about it. I would never lose myself.
I'm I'm just curious. Are you like on your computer and then you're on your phone? Is that what's going on?
That's a separate account for.
Yeah, but
Send
like.
a message to E-Money right now. Hello.
Send them. When do I have to send it?
Account created November 21st.
I can see. Hey, at least you're bringing the viewers up.
Hey, I'm gonna make that for a mod before Gabe.
You already made G Money a mod.
I followed E-Money.
E-Money's kind of the lucky better though. He's a more of a pleasant to talk to on the chat.
Did anyone comment on YouTube?
Nah, bro, it's just dead. No, dude.
Were you even looking at it?
Yeah, it was from time to time.
Can you refresh? Do I have any viewers right now?
Nope. No one commented.
Look over it. That's crazy. Hold up, I'm curious.
I said say what's up, and nobody did. Yeah. How would you know that G Money is Gabe E-Money?
It's probably because they banned me last time. I got a subscriber though.
Oh really?
Yeah. And a like.
Sandro,
a like and a sub.
Sandro claims that he got banned. He got shadow banned from YouTube again.
No, not shadow banned.
No.
Well, someone liked
it. On your shorts and stuff. You said you got TikTok. You said you got shadow banned. You did say that.
Yeah. Oh, kind of.
You've been saying my name stupid. I don't know. I just feel like I Sandro got my phone number banned off Tinder. I wonder why. What were you? Can we hear that story? Why you got G Money?
I was spamming likes.
Nah.
To get him matches. I was like.
And you just got banned from that?
Yeah. Oh no! Because
there has to be a reason.
No, it was different. It was multiple accounts. Because I would just refresh. I would just like do a new login.
Oh, there you go.
New account, new start.
Oh, because he was getting shadow banned. That's why.
Because it shadow bans you once. You make a new account, and then it shadow bans you even worse.
I don't know
if that. It just sends you into hell.
I pull my hair, wear any outfit. But you find me ugly, and one day you'll disappear. Cause what's the point of cracking?
I'm getting used to this. Even though I can't hear it, I just like remember it from the first time I was just messing around with it.
Hell yeah. Eventually we're gonna get you all inundated with the soundboard, and you could submit requests for your sounds and I'll add them and shit like that.
Yeah,
that'd have to be good though. I don't like that was easy button. I was just like, that's kind of.
Dude, that was easy. Come on. Who doesn't like that was easy button? I feel like that's a good button, like to like have like as part of the soundboard.
I guess for certain situations.
Song request. No song request.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Once we get.
You barely have the audio on check.
No, not because of that.
Oh.
Well, once we get off of YouTube and Twitch, once we broadcast live from our own website, we'll say whatever.
So 2028. That's the timestamp I have it.
I'll be happy if I get it to
2030.
Famous by then.
I feel like G Money has to hop in the stream. Real life.
Yeah, I mean, anyone can come on the stream as long as you have something important to say. Or you're funny. Or you're cool. You're not a square. Damn, still no sub from E-Money.
Still no sub for E-Money. Let's go, E-Money.
Damn. Why are you rooting against the stream you're
That's where you're the GOAT. That's where you're the GOAT.
This is literally your stream, and you're like rooting against people, rooting against us.
I need to go bathroom.
I mean, you could just end it. I mean, unless you want to just stay here and do this.
Nah. All right, we gotta go. Say goodbye.
Yeah. If you're tapped in, I appreciate you guys. We'll be on next Thursday with less technical difficulties. If you enjoyed it, leave comments and whatnot. I appreciate everyone who taps in and supports, and I also appreciate the person who came on and helped me do the technical side of things and whatnot. So, yeah, have a wonderful night. I'll see you.